and welcome back to my channel. This is the makeup that we're going to be working on today. I think when you're going to be seeing this, it's either New Year's Eve or just one day before that. I am not sure whether this is going to go up on the 30th or the 29th, but either way, very happy New Year to all of you. I made quite a few attempts and spent quite a few nights preparing for this particular look, and I'm very happy with it. I am going to be wearing it on my New Year's Eve party, so if you like the look that I have come up with, then stay tuned and we will just start off in a moment.
So guys, let's start off with a little bit of eye primer. I'm using MAC's Paintpot in Painterly, and I'm applying it all the way up to my brow bone with my fingers to prime and prep my eyes. This will make the surface of my eyelids a little bit tacky for the eyeshadows to go on well, and it will cancel out any discoloration that I may have. Then I'm going into my Maybelline Diamond Glow Quad, and I'm using this third shade as my crease color over here. Then I'm using a little bit of sellotape and applying it to the sides of my eyes from the edge of my lower lash line to my brow, and this is going to act as the border and shape our eyeshadow look. Then I'm going into the sleek Eye Divine Original palette, and with the use of this shade called London Rain, I'm applying it to the outer half of my moving eyelid. I'm not taking it into the crease or into the inner corner of my eye, and as you can see, I'm really packing it on as densely as I possibly can, all the way up to the edge of my tape, but definitely not into the crease. Then I'm just blending this with the crease so that the transition is nice and even. Of course, repeating on the other eye. I'm using a flat shader brush for this. I don't know if I mentioned that before. And my blending brush is from Color Bar. Then I'm going into the very first shade, which is Black Cab. It's just a matte black shade, and I'm placing this pigment ever so slightly onto just the outer edge of my V. And the way I'm doing this is that I'm placing the product a little bit on the sellotape and brushing it inward so that the most minimum possible shade color gets onto my eyelid. I don't know if that makes sense, but I really hope it does. And then I'm blending it over to the edge. I want the black color to be very minimal and just darken up the steel shade that I applied, and not actually create a black stark color. Then I'm going into this shade. You can see here it is called Big Ben, and I'm applying this to the inner half of my eye, concentrating on my inner corner to lighten it up a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but it's a very beautiful peachy pink color, and sometimes I wonder if it can be used as a highlight maybe in a future video. Then I'm using a clean blender brush to blend the edges of London Rain and Big Ben. Repeating on the other eye, of course. And blending again. Then I'm going back into my Maybelline Diamond Glow Quad and using the lightest possible shade on the same brush that I used on my crease, of course, after spot cleaning it, and I'm using this to highlight my brow bone. Then I'm going into the Lakme Absolute Precision Liquid Liner. Neither is it very precise nor is it very long lasting, but I just needed it for one night, and for that purpose it is great. It's very jet black and it's not very easy to use, but it does the trick for one evening. You of course can use whatever you like, and I'm using this to line my lash line as close to the lashes as possible and as thin as I possibly can. and then I'm winging it out ever so slightly, so you can't even basically tell, and it's just going to add the slightest amount of dimension, but no more. It is not a dramatic eyeliner. You can see I've created quite a bit of mess, but because of the sellotape, that's just going to be taken care of once we remove it. And voila! Do you see the magic? It's so nice and crisp and sharp, and the wing is ever so slight. Then I'm using my Elle 18 Kajal, and I'm using this to tightline my upper waterline. It's a very soft, very highly pigmented kajal, wonderful for tightlining. Then I'm going into my Deborah Milano Kajal in white, and this is one of the two colors that I'm going to be applying on my lower waterline. After that, I went into my Maybelline Color Show Crayon Kohl in the shade Nude, and I topped it up on my lower waterline. What this does is applying a white eyeliner base just makes this color more visible. Then I'm using the shade The Thames from the same Sleek palette, and I'm just popping a little bit with my fingers to the very center of my eyelids to bring out that blue just a little bit extra. After all, moving on to mascara, I'm using the Maybelline Hyper Curl mascara. And even though initially I had told you guys that I like to use it in conjunction with another one from Physicians Formula, this one has dried out a little bit and it works better on its own. It doesn't, somehow it's just not as clumpy anymore, but very volumizing and very lengthening. I'm also applying it, of course, to my lower lash line. And then I'm moving on to my face. For primer, I'm using the Elle Mineral Face Primer as per usual, and I'm just, blending it onto my skin. I gave it a little while to set after I applied it and sort of sink into the pores and work its magic. And then I moved into foundation. My foundation for choice today is the Lakme Skin Naturelle foundation. I am in the shade Pearl, and I decided to apply it with just my hands instead of using a brush because that is the way to get the maximum possible coverage out of this. This foundation is more luminous, and therefore I like it for the winter time especially. But you sometimes do need to be careful with flash photography with this foundation because it can flash back. It doesn't always, but it can. After that, I'm using my Dream Matte Mousse foundation as concealer and just applying it to those spots on my face where I have a little few friends popping up. And when I say few, I mean a whole dozen billion. And finally, I'm moving on to my under eye highlighting concealer. I'm using the Maybelline Age Rewind. I will never ever remember the full name of this concealer, but I will try to mention it in the description box. I'm applying it under my eyes, on the bridge of my nose, forehead, cupid's bow, and on my chin. Basically all the parts of my face that I really want to highlight. And they all say that it's really good and easy to blend with just your finger, and that's my first attempt to do that. And it did work out rather brilliantly, although it did take a little bit longer than it would have had I used my expert face brush. But it worked, so that's good. Then it's time to set all of that concealer. I'm using the Lakme Rose Powder in soft pink. I mentioned this a gazillion times before, but I'm going to say it again. This is not typically a yellow tone powder that you should or would use for your under eye, but it is so brightening. It is rose tinted, but it is so brightening that it works really well, and it sets the concealer in place, as in the concealer is not going to move all night. You can count on it. You can see me use it under my eyes, on the bridge of my nose, forehead, cupid's bow, chin, all the usual places. You know the drill. And you can see me enjoy the mild rose scent, which is absolutely beautiful. Contouring, my favorite part. I'm using the Elle contouring blush and bronzing duo, squeezing my cheeks in and just placing the product with my Color Bar contour brush. This gives a slightly more natural contour, which is what I was in the mood for today. So I'm just patting the product and placing it, and I will blend it in just a little bit. With the same brush, I'm also contouring my jaw, my temples, the center of my forehead, sides of my face, basically the entire perimeter. So this is my bronzer cum contour kit. And now I'm blending it all in place. I'm also contouring my nose by pinching the very same brush. And then blending. I decided to take the bronzer a little down my neck this time. For my blush today, I'm using the Coralista blush from Benefit Cosmetics. I have the one that comes in the coral kit, Tropic Coral kit. So I'm just using that on a blush brush. It's a very nice natural sort of blush, and it goes very well with these deep blue eyes. My highlighter today is the Makeup Revolution Vivid Baked Highlighter, and I'm using this on a small stippling brush by Elle. And it is giving me a very nice, subtle, beautiful sort of glow. I've really been enjoying this. Spoiler alert, this is going to be there in my monthly favorites. My lipstick today is the Maybelline Color Sensational. I don't remember its name because it has rubbed off, but I will mention it somehow in the description box if you want to know what it is. And that is it. I am using a lip gloss today, and this is the one by Lotus Herbals. It's in the shade Caramel, I think. Again, I'm not sure. I will mention it in the description box. And here you have it. That is the whole look. My hair is just set the same way I set them for my wedding get ready with me. So yeah, this is the whole look. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in just a second.
So guys, that is the end of this look. I really hope you enjoyed this that I've come up with. I tried to stay as dedicated to the Sleek Eye Divine original palette as I could, because I absolutely love it, and I like it when I can create entire looks out of exclusively just one palette. But as you saw, I did go into other products. I really hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, and I really hope you like it. If you do decide to recreate it, then please send me a selfie. I will have all of my social media linked in the description box, so just go check that out, don't forget. If you have not subscribed already, then don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, if you like it, give it a thumbs up, and stay tuned for my next one. Bye!